Here we are. We're live with Jeff. Jeff, welcome to Cover the Podcast.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. I look forward to it.
We're super excited to chat with you. Health Insurance Explained. And it's been said around this office that you'd be a great person to talk to help us explain health insurance specifically on the business-to-business side. Can you help some of our listeners understand what your role here is?
Yes. So thank you. I'm the sales director for the co-op for both Montana and Idaho. And so I work in all lines of insurance from individual to group, but with the focus being on group insurance. We are fortunate to have a wide array of products for business owners to purchase in both states. And when you look at products for an employer standpoint, really a group plan, something that they can not only provide the proper coverage for their employees, but also it's a tool to attract good employees. And so there's a few different advantages of having it. So the group plans operate similar to an individual plan. They'll have a deductible, so your cost or what you need to spend prior to the insurance paying a portion. Mm-hmm. They have out-of-pocket maximums. They have different benefits. You can get a plan that has richer benefits or more first dollar benefits, or plans that have higher out-of-pocket before the benefits kick in. But you can get the products and cover your group. We can quote you as a group throughout the year, where individual coverage is typically for during a qualifying event,
right?
A special enrollment period.
That seems like an important distinction, is that if you're a business and you're looking to employ or insure your employees, you can do that anytime.
Correct.
And by just calling the office and saying, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And you mentioned first dollar expenses before. Can you just back up and kind of explain that for folks, what that means?
Sure. So some plans have what's called a first dollar benefit. So, for example, if you go to your physician, your primary care doctor, and so it has a benefit to where you would pay maybe a $35 copay, for example. So you're getting a benefit up front. You're paying a very small amount. That amount goes towards your out-of-pocket. Whereas, say, a high deductible plan where it has a deductible amount that you need to achieve, pay out of pocket before a benefit picks up. So if you go to that same practitioner and whatever the cost that is, you don't have a copay. You'd pay the full amount of our negotiated rate for that service before the benefit kicks in.
So how did you get involved with kind of the B2B health insurance world? Because I feel like it's a really niche part of the health insurance vertical that is so key. Like you mentioned before, bringing on talented people, they care about great health insurance. And so I bet, maybe we'll talk about your favorite part of the business a little later, but can you walk our listeners through how you got to where you are today in the health insurance world?
Yeah, so I've always liked working with people and helping them. So sometime after college, after I went through working in the retail sector, I went to work for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Montana. So I worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield about 14 and a half years, with the most recent position that I was there as a district sales manager. So I really like going out and speaking to businesses, meeting new clients, talking to them, what can help them, what can help them with their employees, provide a good benefit, and keep health coverage affordable. Healthier employees typically perform better. They don't have as much stress because they know that they're going to be covered when something's going on for their family as well as themselves. So that's how I got into it, and then left health insurance for a few years to pursue some other things, and then had an opportunity to come work with the co-op and help them obtain more group members, because they have some great products to offer, some additional benefits beyond your normal product offering that can help the community. We're locally owned, member owned, and those are all important things.
Yeah, those are really key local businesses that kind of want to keep business local in Montana and Idaho. this is your insurance, right? It's like so member centric. What are some of the most frequently asked questions that businesses will ask you when looking to get insurance for their employees?
So they will ask, depending on the employer size. So if it's small group from 2 to 50 covered lives employees, then we will quote them a certain way. The benefits are standard. So we have a set amount of plans that have been filed, and we have standard benefits. When you get above that, if you get above the 50 mark, then it goes into the large group segment. So we will quote them and design the benefits different and ask for additional information to quote it. So it's a little different process, but we make it pretty easy either way to get a quote.
Yeah.
And we're pretty flexible on the benefit options, which is very important, because what might work for one employer might not work for another. What might work for a school district?
Sure.
That's very important segment of our communities. Might not work for a manufacturing firm.
Yeah, makes sense. What about different employee circumstances? How flexible can the plans get if it's a team of 5 to 10 and an entrepreneur is saying, I'm ready to get some insurance. We've been sort of scrapping by, and we were a scrappy startup, but now we're an official business. Time to get official. And they reach out to you. They say, Jeff, we kind of run the gamut when it comes to health insurance needs, between prescription drugs and a bunch of other things. We just want to make sure that everyone's covered. How would you approach a team like that?
We typically ask a number of questions to find out what their needs are, and just talk through what's their reasoning for offering the coverage, things they've heard from their employees. And then we try to find a product or products that fit that need. So in your example, what would probably be good is offering two different product types, where we offer a plan that has more first dollar benefits, like I mentioned, and then a high deductible plan. So that can vary the cost of the plan as well as what's being offered to try to fit more of the people within the company.
Okay. What's a high deductible plan? What does that look like?
Well, a high deductible plan would be and you can include it with the health savings account or not. So a lot of them, you can include a health savings account. So it's meeting a certain amount of money, a deductible and an out-of-pocket, before a lot of your typical plan benefits would kick in. So if you had a high deductible plan that was $5,000, you would need to meet the $5,000 in health costs before the plan would kick in. And a lot of times your covered benefits would kick in at 100% after meeting that amount. So that's where a health savings account comes in, where you can get some tax savings by putting money in an account to help pay for those upfront medical costs. Many times employers will pay an employee a portion of the health savings monies, and then you as an employee can put money in there to cover those upfront costs. Mm-hmm. All these plans, regardless if you're getting a traditional benefit plan that has first dollar benefits or a high deductible plan, as I mentioned, have preventative services. So in a way, they all have a first dollar benefit from a preventative standpoint. So your yearly exams, your immunizations, certain services for kids. So that's a nice thing about all of our benefit plans. They come with some preventative coverage.
Okay. Advice that you would have for somebody who is venturing into this world, thinking about insuring their employees. Where do you start? What's the first step? There's so many options, it would appear, and I'm sure the business owners, the entrepreneurs have people kind of knocking on their door saying, hey, choose us, choose us, choose us. You've seen a couple different firms now and been a part of a couple different teams. What would be the first step for somebody in those shoes? And second, what have you found that differentiates the co-op from the rest of the field?
Well, I think a good starting point is finding a good agent in the community. So we have a lot of local agents that we work for that represent more than one insurer. But finding a good agent, an advocate, someone to speak to. Now, we will work directly with you, but many times that agent can help them with other insurance needs. So that's important. So if you have an agent that you can use or would like to call on, that's an important first step. And the second thing would be is to compare a couple different companies, compare their benefit designs, compare their price points, and see what they have to offer. Look at the provider network. Make sure that the network of the benefit you're buying is covered. Mm-hmm. And then I would focus heavily on, I'm big on trying to purchase locally. And so when you look at who you're going to do business with, I think it's important to try to support local. And that's where I think we differentiate ourselves as a co-op, that we're locally owned, we're member owned, our board's voted on by the members, and so we spend our money here, and so that's an important difference. We put all of our profits back into it to provide things like some additional benefits, like a vision exam with the medical. We have some really neat things coming in 2020, so we're able to do that by how we operate.
Yeah, that's powerful. So that's one of the huge advantages of being a co-op is if you have an idea as a business about, this is a product that we might like to offer our employees, or this is an idea we had. Have you ever seen an idea like that come to evolve into an actual product or service that the co-op offers? Yeah,
we're looking at some other product design now, and some of that feedback came from actual customers about, could we do something? And so we're exploring that now, and I'm excited to say that I think we'll be able to do some things in 2020 with that. Some of our offerings that we provided enhance the benefit came from member feedback, and so it's very important. I think a smaller company, while we need to continue to refine and have more ability to expand, one benefit is we're small enough to make quicker decisions.
Yeah, you can move fast.
Yes.
Jeff, one of our questions that we like to ask all of our guests, are there activities that you participate in the mountain region here in Montana and Idaho that put you at most risk for needing to use your health insurance?
Well, yes, I like to run the trails.
Oh, yeah, trail running. Yeah,
so
ankles, got to be careful of those.
Right, so I like to do that, and mountain bike.
Oh, yeah, so that's another. Yeah.
I enjoy those. And then I actually dance. I actually tap dance.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
And that would be considered, there's some danger there.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be careful.
You put the tap shoes on, but it does relieve some stress at the end of the day.
Sure. So. You could look at it as a preventative activity.
Exactly.
That's amazing. That's really cool. Now, is that local here?
Yep, it's local. So I've done it since I was a kid, and we perform now and then, but it's just real enjoyable.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's just something fun, and it's a good way to relieve stress and get out and meet people, and so.
Yeah, super cool. Anything that I didn't ask you that you were thinking, I wish Kyle had asked me this. I was ready. I had an answer on the tip of my tongue, but he never asked me this question. I want to share this information so badly.
Well, I think the big thing is we still find where there's people that need to be educated on what we do as a co-op.
Yeah.
That they either haven't heard from us, or they don't know that we can actually provide a health benefit like some of the other big carriers. And so I just want people to know that if you are exploring insurance, or if you have it, and it's time to look at the numbers again, to look at plans again, to give us a call. We're a very viable option in both Montana and Idaho, and we are having some successes, and we just look forward to covering more people and showing the communities that we're here to stay, and we're here to operate and help.
Cool. That's great advice. Great tip. Thank you so much for being on our podcast.
My pleasure, and thank you. And I look forward to hearing more from the listeners. They call and listen to me.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jeff.